Well, we're going to wait for a couple more people to jump on. We've got 5 people online, which is epic. Hey, Jeremy, welcome. We kick off in a minute or so as well. So excited to have you all here. First time we're doing one of these. And for all of those people who are watching from around the world, I know SJ has a massive audience and following from all over. Drop in the comments section where you're from. Jess says hello.
Is it Jess Brown?
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Yeah.
2 Jesses on, actually.
That's probably Jess from Texas and Jess from Venezuela, or Jess from Netherlands. Actually, she's Venezuelan anyway, I'm pretty sure.
Texas is 4:30 a.m. in the morning. That's incredible. Well done on your commitment to waking up that early as well. 5 a.m. calls are hard, so kudos to you. So we'll get tucked into it, hey?
Yeah, ready to go.
Okay. All right. Well, hi, hey, hello, and welcome to SJ's Facebook page. My name is Ryan as well. And before I hand it over to Sarah, I like to call her Sarah, but SJ, as most of you would know her, beautiful, beautiful friend of mine as well. And we've known each other since 2018. And, you know, it's been incredible to watch your journey. We did one of these 2 years ago, back in March. And, you know, your trading journey has come so far since then, your business, and so much growth. And it's been incredible to watch you continue to shine and have an impact on the world. And I know that for many of you who have been watching SJ for the last several years and being curious about, you know, what is trading and asking all these questions, and maybe you've worked with her in the past and maybe it hasn't worked out, but now is an opportunity to really reevaluate where you're at in your life. And if trading and Forex and trading cryptocurrency as well is a beautiful skill that you would actually like to learn and develop. So SJ, let's start with a little bit about you for those who are tuning in and have no idea who you are or have like randomly added you on Facebook.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. I had a lot of fun doing the last one a couple of years ago, and, you know, a lot of growth has happened since then, personally and business and all those good things. But hi, everyone. My name is SJ. You know, Ryan does like to call me Sarah, but I'm 29. I'm turning 30 this year. I live down in Geelong in Victoria, Australia. I said to Ryan today when I was just like, you know, I don't know how to answer you if you ask me who am I, but, you know, I'm just a girl. I've got some really, really, really big dreams. I've always been a big dreamer. I've always had, you know, future SJ at the forefront of my mind, for the most part. I have a passion for helping people. I've got a passion for psychology, all things personal development. I've always wanted more out of life, and settling for just, you know, an okay life has just never been something I wanted to do. You know, like I come from a family with really entrepreneurial parents. They're up there. I'm from Mackay originally, actually. My folks are engineers. My dad's built a really successful engineering company, and, you know, just being an employee and just working that 9 to 5 for the rest of my life is just hasn't been in my DNA. So I've ventured out in 101 different things. I've got a passion for helping people, and, you know, over the last 12 years, I've done anything and everything I've ever wanted to do, because I didn't want to just pick a career and work that for the 40 years of my life and then die. Okay, I've done beauty therapy, hairdressing, hospitality, business, sales, marketing, network marketing, personal training, like you've named it, you name it, I've done it. What else? For the last 5 years, I guess, I've solely focused on learning to trade the financial markets. And that's just been the one thing I've stuck with, because I became really passionate about it, okay? Like I said, my passion is helping people, and it's really turned into a passion of helping people with their finances, because I know what it's like to suck with money, okay? I know what it's like to live from paycheck to paycheck, and it really not go much further than week to week. I know what it's like to say no to things that you really want to do simply because you can't afford it or you don't get paid enough. And I seriously think that my mission is to help people create a vision for their lives and put a plan together and set some goals and really make it happen. In this trading space, I've helped over 200 people learn this. I've got a whole squad of traders that literally range from uni kids to tradies to apprentices to chiropractors, energy healers, hospitality workers, naturopaths, stay-at-home mums. They've come from all across the globe. We've got a lot here. We've got a really big trade house out here in Australia. We've got a lot of traders in the US, Venezuela. She's on here tonight, Jess. I love you. Amsterdam, Belgium, the UK, Texas. I see Jess there as well. UK, Portugal, Canada, Mexico. Like, this thing goes global. And I've been really fortunate enough to be connected with people to build a business with this. So yeah, it's been really amazing.
And so that's where you're at right now after 5 years committing yourself. But how did you actually find out about Forex? How did you get started?
Yeah, cool. So I was working for a company that I'm not going to name drop any on here just because I want to keep it really streamlined, professional. No trash talking allowed.
Share that privately. It's a really interesting story.
Basically, yeah, it's a very good story. But anyway, that was my introduction into the shares and the stock market and things like that. I just never had the money for it. Anything entry level back then that was significant, I needed like $3,000 for it, and I just didn't have that. So I just explored other trading options. My dad had always been in shares. My brother got into shares. But yeah, like I said, I just didn't have the money for it. So I reached out to a friend who lives in Santa Monica, and he was at college, had a really nice lifestyle, drove a really nice car. And I just literally asked him, I'm like, bro, you are an American and you're at college. You should be broke. Like, what's happening? Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for a living to make all this money? Turns out his father was a trader, taught him growing up, and that's just literally how he funded his way through uni, through college out there. And they sent me over a couple of books. So Anna Cooling, Forex for Beginners, really good book. I'm pretty sure she's a UK author. And Naked Forex, which was like way advanced. And I also just went to town on Google and YouTube. Really struggled because I'm one of those learners that I really like to ask questions. In 2015 also, I lost 15 grand to an auto trader. So I became super skeptical about anything like that. So I knew the power in learning to trade because I knew that, this is, especially all this COVID stuff. This is now like my second economic downturn that I've personally experienced. And I just knew the value of having an online income stream and having a skill set online, hence why trading really, really, really appealed to me. So I just sought out information. I sifted and, I went through so much stuff, and it's something that you can absolutely learn on your own, but it is so freaking hard. Like, it is so hard, and it's really hard to know who to take advice from online, especially when it comes to your finances. So because of that experience, I kind of put it on the back burner because I just, learning alone is really hard. It's such a hard thing to know. And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's the long way. And then so March 2016, I moved to Brisbane, and my friend Matt Wilkinson, hopefully he sees that. He actually rang me and he's like, hey, you still trading? And I said, no, I'm not. Literally just said the story that I told you guys. And he said, well, I want to show you something. It's literally just education. And I was like, cool, like, I'm open to it. This is something I really want to do. I trust you. And went from there, and he showed me the platform. And at that time, the education system was like nothing compared to what it is now. So even then I was like, oh my God, take my money. So what people get now is like next level good. But yeah, so I started trading with the education and just plugging into the system. I was working full-time retail, and I was just, I could only give it 3 hours a day, and I gave it my 3 hours a day. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I started. So March 2016 was when I like fully kicked off my journey and career. It's not really a career, but my journey with all of this.
Like, it's really interesting because you also mentioned that you lost some money in Auto Trader.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get lost in the noise online too. If you Google, trading Forex, there's a whole bunch of signal services that pop up too. Mm-hmm. What would you say for people who are like Googling and looking around as well? What's also the problem with signal services?
You're relying on someone else. Okay, and it's one thing to, auto traders and signal services. Yeah, that's cool for short-term money, but it's like having a job or anything like that. It can be taken from you like that. Okay, and if you're relying on something else to get you the results, to make you money, it may be cool for short term, but you will not have long-term wealth created that way. So the money for me is, even my platform offers signals, right? Especially with crypto, like they are fire. But I certainly don't rely on them. The knowledge is in applying what you're learning and making money for yourself and leveraging that to make it more. So don't get me wrong, like there are some probably good ones out there. I'm yet to see them. Like I'm in a lot of Forex groups in Australia, and it's just spam. Join my Telegram, and it's just toxic stuff. Like there's so much noise, and I get it. I get why people are skeptical about this, and that's why it pays to actually just have a conversation with someone. See what their intentions are about, and just see, just have a conversation with them. Ask about their experience. So I definitely don't agree with the auto trading stuff.
I think the other interesting thing there as well is if you're relying upon somebody else, as soon as you take their signal, that person doesn't have a personal responsibility to you to wake you up in the morning at 2 a.m. when the trade goes south.
100%. And that's the other thing. Good point there is, one of the biggest questions I get is, SJ, can I just pay you to trade money for me? And the biggest part of trading is actually, it's huge psychology, right? I can go as far as, 90% psychological, 10% skill set. Like I can literally teach a kindergarten kid how to read a chart. But if you haven't developed yourself emotionally and learned the art of detachment, if someone gives you a signal and it hits the stop loss and you lose, and you haven't developed yourself emotionally to take that loss, you're going to be blaming every other person except yourself. But people love to blame other people. A lot of people like to live in that victim state and they don't take responsibility. Meanwhile, they obviously didn't hold a gun to your head saying, here, take this signal, I'm going to blast your brains out. Like you still inputted that trade. You still hit the trigger. You are responsible. And a lot of people don't like that responsibility.
That's right. They want to pay somebody else to do it. The difference, I think, as well with a skill set is once you learn something, other stuff can be taken away from you, but you're not unlearning it. It's something that you have, and then you can continue to apply it as well. So if you were to lose something else, you lose your job, you lose something else that's tangible or important to you as well, actually being able to go back into the markets and trade and learn is really valuable, particularly if you've built up that mindset too, which I think is super powerful.
100%. And no one can take the skill set from you unless they literally cut your brain out.
Yeah. And so when you started, I remember you telling me that you had a different story to other people who were getting started and learning. You took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because you were really committed to your journey and your growth. But I'd love to know, for people who are watching, who are curious, maybe they've started in the last month with you or they're sitting on the fence. What did you find was the hardest thing to learn or to master as a beginner?
Yeah, cool. So I started learning from baby pips. Worst place ever. Okay, so there's this question I feel could be broken down in a couple of pieces. So, the hardest thing, I guess, in the beginning was a lot of people were really skeptical about what I do. Okay, and I get it because society teaches us to look for jobs that are secure and not look for opportunities, so to speak. Okay. If people want to question or, say the financial markets or Forex is a scam, they actually don't understand how the world works. Okay. So for sure, be wary. Like those Telegram providers out there that are doing signals, 100%, they probably just want your money. Okay. I would be wary of a system that literally wants your money to trade. But if you're paying for education and you think that's a scam, then school's a scam, uni's a scam, well, kind of is anyway. But do you know what I mean? Like you're literally paying for education. So we are learning to trade the largest financial market. So for me, it's a matter of follow people who have done what you want to do and ask them for help. All right. So my road to, trading Forex, it made me, especially losing money to an auto trader back in the day. It made me learn to be careful of what people promise you online. and to be patient and to be calm. Okay, it taught me to not make irrational decisions if I'm panicking. You know, there's a lot of gurus online selling this and selling that. And so, you know, it's really taught me the value of learning this skill set and not to rely on anything else than me putting in the work. Okay. Another thing that really showed up for me is, you know who you're getting into bed with in a business sense, of course. All right. So make sure the people that you're aligning with has really good intentions. For me, whenever someone wants to learn this, I literally jump on a Zoom and we have a conversation. Okay. I want to know all about, say again.
That's how we started. I remember having a conversation.
Literally.
I was lying on my couch over there with SJ in February 2018 as well. We were chatting about life and she was asking me all these questions. I was like, wow, you actually really care about me.
I do care about people. And that's, you know, people, I think people in this day and age in this world, they don't care enough about others and they care a lot about themselves in a selfish way. Okay. And compassion is something a lot of people also don't have. So for me, I wanted to make sure that people I was aligning with had good intentions. And I want to know if someone wants to trade with me, I turn people away every single week because I just know I'm either not going to get along with them, or I know that when their name comes up on my phone, they're going to piss me off. And I say that in a positive way because I want to know that they're coachable and they're teachable. Okay. So if someone wants to know this, I literally just want to have a conversation. I want to know all about them. I want to know who they are. I want to know what's working in their life. I want to know what's not working. I want to know how I can help them. I want to see if Forex is actually something that can help them. You know, I want to know how I can serve them, because money is really only one aspect of this. So if I can show someone everything that this offers, this has to offer someone, then I'm going to do that. And it's not just by sending you a video to check out. I want to know about you, because there is so much money that can be made about this in this industry, but that's just the smallest amount. Okay. And the other thing, I guess, that was really hard at the start is I think I expected a lot of people to support me in this, and I think that's a really selfish thing to demand from someone for so many reasons. Okay. If you're trying something new, make sure you're doing it for you. Okay. Don't expect others to support you. If you've got big dreams, big goals, you know, a lot of the times people are just stuck in their own mindset of week to week, living for the weekend. So I learned early on that if I get something I'm really excited about and I've got all these big goals that I'm going to set, and I finally found something that's going to help me achieve it, obviously, if I stick to it and I'm persistent and I'm consistent, I learned to be quiet about it and only tell people that I knew was going to support and encourage me. Like Ryan got, I have some huge, huge goals. And, you know, if people, I think the reason why people don't aim high enough is because they've never been presented or open-minded enough with an opportunity that could actually change everything for them. So naturally, they're not going to believe that you're going to do it. And so therefore, because they don't believe they can do it, so they're going to be really negative about what you're trying to do, and they're going to trash talk, and they're going to, you know, discourage you. So that you know, learning to trade, I didn't find that difficult because I had the long-term vision, so I knew it would just be the ebb and flow of it. It was more so the fact that of, you know, what people would say, I guess.
So interesting as well. I think just with learning any new skill, it takes time. So if you want to learn how to play the guitar, or you want to learn how to cook because you're in isolation at the moment, you're trying to impress your partner, it all takes time. And so you want to be really careful what you're committed to as well. And what I guess Sarah is talking about this evening is an opportunity to learn something that can actually profoundly change your life. If taken seriously as well. It's not to say that it's a walk in the park. It's not to say that it comes easy, so to speak. It still requires dedication, but it's actually, as Sarah was saying, capturing, getting a glimpse of that vision that you want to create for your life. And a lot of people dream small as a result of maybe not achieving something in the past as well. I think that's the other part to this, is because you've missed out on achieving anything as well, it's so easy to be negative when other people are going for something as well. Or it's easy to be dismissive of any new opportunity that comes your way because you've heard it before, or you've been sold some BS online. some of you might have bought signals before as well, and it hasn't worked out. And so I highly encourage you to actually have a conversation with Sarah too, because it is in that process of learning about community and friendship that you can learn. It is so hard to do. I could not have learned how to treat on my own.
Neither.
So, and actually, so you were committed. You were spending your free hours outside of work at the time because you're working at a jeweler. Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember that.
Yeah.
And your free time was just poured into study and learning and spending time on the charts. Mm-hmm. And you were able to pull off something quite remarkable within about 6 months.
Yeah. So, you know, I went back into retail because I had a subcontracting business that literally shit the bed. But that's when I was learning to trade. So that was like 2015. Forex for me was my way out of my job. That was always the intention. It took me from March 2016 to September of 2016. I quit my full-time retail job. I was making about $1,000 a week consistently. The job I had was really toxic. And as you know me, a job is never going to be the be all and end all for me. It was simply a means for me to pay for my education. You know, it served its purpose, but it was never the end goal for me. Trading for me, I had we grew really big here in Australia in 2016, and I had my support network, you know, so I had everything I needed. It was just on me to put the work in and study. And so, yeah, in terms of that being really good, you know, we have these success stories all the time now, you know, like Jenna, as you know, Jenna, obviously, prime example for her. Like, she started with me October 2018, you know, single mum of 2 in corporate 9 till 5 type admin work, was able to quit her job in December. Like, the earliest she could get on the charts was 9 p.m. at night when the kids were in bed. She also literally had like three hours a night, and then was up at 6 again with the kid. You know, it's anything is achievable. I strongly think that, like, you know, a lot of the times all you need is that desire and a willingness. The rest is just, in my opinion, excuses. And I don't take excuses lightly. So for me, it was my way out, and it took sacrifice. Like, luckily enough, I didn't have any friends in Brisbane. I just moved there, and I was just there for work because there was nothing in Mackay. I was living in Norman Park, working Carindale, and I was, you know, grateful that I had no family there or no friends there in that positive way, because I didn't have to spread my time evenly. So yeah, I gave it all I had, and it paid off. And then as the years have gone on, my obviously I definitely don't believe in, you know, trading to pay your bills straight away. Like, I believe in the whole compounding interest, compounding your profits thing. But at that point in my life, that was how I got out of my job.
Yeah, that was your way out, because your job was also something that didn't bring you joy at the time. And I just wanted to add, because Jana's a mutual friend of ours too, she lives in Brisbane. So Sarah and I met when she'd already moved out of Brisbane, but I remember when Jenna had signed up as well, and Sarah had connected us both, and her and I were having dinner on my rooftop, and she was actually sharing with me back in October, November 2018, what leaving her job would actually mean for her. And she was in tears, because what she wanted to do, and this might connect with some of you who are in a similar position and you're evaluating things during COVID, life decisions and transitions with work or life relationships. She was saying that I want to provide for my kids, right? And then subsequently, at end of last year, she was actually able to do that. And she had always had in her mind December 2019 when she wrote that a year earlier. So it's really powerful to have a vision in mind as well, and then what is able to open up as a result. So look, I'm curious, Sarah, like, what skills have you developed in regards to your mindset, right? How did you develop this belief that you have now in yourself, in the business, in Forex as well? Because you had to work through maybe limiting beliefs, as you were saying. Trading is 90% mindset. What are some of the things you had to overcome during that journey over the last 5 years?
Honey, before I answer that, you just reminded me of that, you know, writing something a goal for yourself and, really putting it into action. So do you remember that article that I was published in back in, I think it was like 2016, in that business write-up? And it was like, SJ Plumpton, learning how to trade. She's going to make, this is how big my goals were. It was like, SJ's going to make her first million by April 18th or something of 2018. Like mental. But go hard or go home. And whilst I didn't achieve that, I achieved many other things in terms of like building a house and becoming a full-time carer for my mum back in 2017. Like I've done a lot. I've done so much travel. Yeah, it's done a lot for me. But in terms of your question of how my life has been different because of this, is that what the question was?
Yeah. What's changed for you aside from quitting the job?
Everything has changed. So who I am as a person is totally different, but in terms of when I first started. But to be honest, my journey of changing myself didn't just start in 2016. It started back in 2013, because the years before that I was an absolute mess. I was living on the sunny coast, abusive relationship, drugs, just some really messed up stuff. My family did nothing but love on me, but I was absolutely an embarrassment to them. A few things happened up there, and my mum literally came up and ripped me from the sunny coast, moved me to Melbourne, and I just got on the straight and narrow, basically. A friend then told me about Vima, actually, which was a network marketing company back in the day. And that's when my life started to get really good, because I was introduced to personal development. My social circle changed a lot. Went from deadbeat lowlifes to go-getters that are, really trying to achieve really great things, and conversations were different. So it all started for me back then. But since learning to trade, definitely my financial life has gone next level. My relationship with myself has gone next level.
What are the biggest things that you've noticed as a result?
Say again, sorry?
Like, what are the biggest things you've noticed in that for yourself, like in regards to your own self-belief? Because that translates to trading as well.
Yeah. Definitely just knowing that, well, I think, hang on, I'll get to that in a second. In terms of, trading's honestly just a big game of personal development, and the better you become as a human being, the better your trading gets. And, you learn a lot about emotional intelligence. You learn how to control and manage your finances. And before trading, my money mindset was absolutely shocking. I was spending more than I earned, relying on my parents way too much to bail me out of stupid decisions. This is back in the day. And now my journey with Forex in the last 5 years, it's been incredible. Most of my wealth has come that I've created over the last couple of years, was created from trading. So trading has changed my perspective on how to succeed in life. Okay. I've been able to do some really amazing things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was just working retail or for someone else. Okay. And even though it's only been a short amount of time, I've really only just scraped the surface of what I'm going to be able to do. And it all happened because I said yes to this. Yeah. But before I discovered trading, I believed that I could only be successful if I studied hard or had a great career and being really smart with my money. But it was after discovering it and becoming exposed to what I had been exposed to in terms of financial literacy, I found out that, I didn't need to get a degree or, have a traditional business and be a slave to that either. I learned that you can't save your way to riches. You can't earn your way to riches. I had to find a way to make money, and to make that money work hard for me and to leverage that money to then make more money, right? So working for your money isn't the optimal way to become wealthy. You need to let your money work for you by investing it. And in this space that we're in of trading, there really is no limit on how much you can make by investing. Obviously, the more you have, the more you can earn. But learning the skill set, reverting back to your little inserted question there, it's taught me to actually appreciate where I'm at. It's taught me self-worth, that I'm actually worth more than a life of struggle and to just a life of settling. Okay, because before this, my romantic relationships were toxic. I was explosive, reactive, just yuck. So the other thing I guess it's taught me is the eighth wonder of the world, which is one of the best things that I've discovered, and that's compounding interest and compounding profits. But I've learned a lot.
That's that's quite incredible, because I think, as you were saying earlier, people sort of downplay their dreams and their visions for their life as well. And what this opens up is an opportunity for people to dream again as well. And what I love most about trading in the markets is that it doesn't discriminate. So as you were saying, whether or not you have a degree, or went on to have letters and titles after your name, it doesn't discriminate in regards to the color of your skin, right? Or where you're starting from. And we've heard so many stories we heard before of Jenna and being a single mom, raising 2 kids, and you have plenty of stories that you've shared on your Facebook. People just need to scroll back. And your own, for those who don't know, like Sarah moved to then be able to support her mum, and she wouldn't have been able to do that in a full-time role.
Yeah.
Because she had to geographically be there. And so trading provided that opportunity, which is beautiful. There's been weeks where it's like paid rent for me, and that's been awesome.
Yeah.
And like, it shifted what was possible, as you were saying before, in regards to compounding interest. For me, as soon as you see that as a reality and what's possible, it expands your whole thinking and mindset into, wow, holy shit, I made 3 times as much this week than I could in my 9 to 5. Wow. And then it totally blows out employee mindset thinking of, I'm getting paid on a per hour basis. And I think that's something that a lot of people sometimes come into your business and hit you up and maybe want to learn, but then at the beginning, they're not earning what they're earning in their 9 to 5. And so it's so easy for them to want to quit. And give up on themselves because it's not immediately paying them. But I think what you're saying really is have a long-term vision as well earlier on. Just get a glimpse of what it is that you want to create for your life as well. Put some time aside to help you develop that skill, and it pays dividends. And that's what we're seeing. It doesn't happen overnight though. And I think sometimes you apply for a job, you get paid the next week, whether or not you show up for the job. So like, for those of you who join or who are just starting their journey, like, don't quit on yourselves so early on. And the other part of tonight's call, the title, is growing an international business as well. And that's what you've been able to do through the company you're partnered with as well. I'm interested in knowing, like, how is the business side of IM and the platform what's that provided for you in regards to leadership or business development?
Cool. Like I said at the start, one of the the most asked questions I get is, can I just give you money to trade, or can I just pay you to teach me? And there's a reason. There's millions of reasons why I don't do that. And one of the biggest reason also is I'm only 5 years in, okay, and I'm humble enough to realize I still don't know everything. While I may be a very good trader, okay, I'm humble enough, but not humble enough to say that. I still jump on the live sessions from the Trade House guys, and I still learn, okay? I understand that, the day that you think that you know everything about something, you actually know nothing. So I get so much value from my trading community. I teach and I learn. I also understand the cash flow quadrant, which I know you also understand too. And if you are watching this and you don't understand the cash flow quadrant, look it up, get the book by Robert Kiyosaki, okay? If I were to go and essentially create my own course, sell it, I put myself back on the left-hand side of that quadrant in the self-employed business owner. And then I've got to spend time, energy, money, putting together something and then constantly marketing it to get students to buy my course. That is not something I'm interested in, okay? I find I can only teach how I've learned, all right? So I'm gonna leverage the system and the platform that I've learned from. I'm gonna plug everyone into this education system, into our trading community. And I find that so much easier because everything's already done, okay? The whole, marketing side of things, people don't have to do. They can lock themselves in a room and just trade, okay? The industry may not be perfect, all right? But if you are someone who wants to start a business, it is an incredible way to get your foot in the door because of the skills you learn, okay? The investments are super low. The potential for growth personally and financially and emotionally, spiritually are massive, okay? the risks are far less and the rewards are very high. So as I said at the start of this call, I've got so many people from all walks of life, all careers that are learning this. Like you just said, trading does not discriminate. This industry does not discriminate. There is no one here telling you how much you're worth, when you can take time off, when you can have lunch, when you can take a piss, okay? Your success and the money that you make in trading and in business is completely dependent on you and the efforts that you put in, okay? So I encourage anyone who's listening and watching the replay, show me a better and more fair way to make money, because I'm yet to see it, which is why I still do this after 5 years, okay? The reason I educate and the reason why I share this so heavily on my socials is to educate people and show them a better way, okay? Whilst I don't believe it's for everyone, because, you know, at the end of the day, we still need people with jobs, otherwise the world would literally shut down. It's a bloody good way to make money on the side of your job if you are lucky enough to find a career. It is job insurance. I literally did a post about that the other day. It is the perfect way to make money if you're looking for a change, because it's an enabler to help you to do that. Okay, you may not want to be a trader forever, but if you're struggling to find the money to come up with a passion project that you want to fund, absolutely it can do that. Okay, I'm passionate about this because of what it's done for me and what it's going to do for me. I'm passionate about it because of the stories that I hear every single day, what this is doing for people. And when you're so passionate about something, sharing it just becomes natural, and that's all I do. Okay, this isn't for everyone, I can promise you that. I've met a ton of people. I've had a ton of conversations about this with people who want to do it. And honestly, I'll be honest, like not many people do have what it takes to make something of themselves, because they're so used to quitting on themselves, quitting when things get hard or quitting when things take too long. But, you know, at the same time, I'm empathetic in the way of, you know, this society is built on instant gratification. So if I was to take someone on in my group, like I said before, I want to know why they want to do it. I want to know how long they're willing to do it for. I'm then going to ask them, I'm going to question their why over and over and over again. I'm going to peel back those layers, because just coming in just to make money isn't going to cut it. So I'm going to ask them if I can then hold them accountable for it, because things are going to get hard. This is not just a trading conversation. This is anything in life. Okay. Things get hard, and people are so used to quitting when things get hard. And that's why no one gets ahead in life, period. So that's how the business has helped me, because it's just the connections I've made. You know, I've made some of my best friends, literally some of my best friends I've actually never physically met in person.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
I think we've only met twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we met through this.
Yeah. You know, Sarah makes a really great point as well. It's like, when she's asking you about your why, it isn't enough just to drop in Sarah's inbox with, I just want to make more money, because people get caught up in shiny object syndrome, and the next thing that pops up on your Instagram ads as well about how to build a business or, you know, scale to 6 figures, whatever it is, can be attractive in those moments too. When Sarah's asking about your why, we're also trying to understand what is it that money actually allows you to then go out and do. Because we're not really after the money, we're after what money allows us to feel, which is, you know, freedom, expansiveness, you know, a sense of adventure. It opens up something for you. So when Sarah is going to ask you inevitably the question, like, why do you want to do this? When you reach out to her, have a real think about it. Like, is it because you genuinely want to provide for your family, or pay off some crippling debt? That's kind of what it feels like. It's suffocating. Or to contribute to your dream wedding. You know, maybe that's what trading opens up, which wasn't possible before. And when you're really connected to that, that's the thing that moves you through the difficult times, or when you like want to throw your computer because you're not understanding something, or trade turns the other way. You're in the process of learning that skill and developing that mindset. And sometimes it gets frustrating sometimes. I think what I love about it is that how you show up in your charting and your trading is how you're showing up in life as well. So if your mindset's off in your life, it's going to come out sometimes in that. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely. This is why when I said trading is more psychological, because when you were trading, how the markets are just going to reflect how you feel, you know, like, and if you're feeling sad and emotional, you're not going to see any opportunities. The market will just reflect exactly what you feel. And this is, you know, people, maybe I can I throw myself in the question?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
In terms of like trading as an industry and how to actually make this work for someone.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what we were discussing before, right?
Yeah. So when I came into trading, money mindset was huge. Okay, so when I started my journey in personal growth and financial literacy, I started to think about money mindset. You know, if I'm learning a skill of trading and want to become really good at it, if I don't then learn how to manage my money, I'm never going to be able to keep it. So in Australia, you can literally open a live account with $200. And I love that, but I hate that at the same time, because people's money mindset is, oh, it's just $200. I'm going to chuck the trade on and see what happens. You know, and that's not how we want to be dealing with this. We want to be, you know, it's not about, you know, one of the other questions I get asked actually is, you know, how often do you trade? How many trades do you put on? And it's not about how many trades, it's about the quality of trading. Okay, so money is just like a game, and once you know how to play it, everything changes. Okay, so financial education, it obviously was never taught in school. It's taught from loans, credit cards, defaults, calls from freaking private numbers. We do a lot of work on ourselves and developing our money mindsets. Okay, this is a big part of trading. On Tuesday night, we just did a call with Mike Miles, actually phenomenal. If you want that, it's also on my YouTube actually. Your trading will only go next level when you go next level. So you will only become a better trader when you become a better human, period. So we break down in our teachings, we break down your beliefs about money, what you really think about the wealthy of the world, you know, and at the end of the day, money only amplifies who you truly are. So obviously in the trading game, the aim is obviously to make money. Okay. However, money is the byproduct of the journey we're on. So don't focus on the money, focus on the education, start taking action, stop focusing on the end product and just start focusing on what's in front of you. And, you know, back when I first started, I guess the other reason why my journey took so much longer is I was learning a way that was just not duplicatable. You know, like my mentor had success, but I had never seen anyone quit their jobs from it or anything like that. So I had to look at and just go deeper again and really figure out what actually is happening on these markets. And in order to have success in trading, you have to understand the markets. Okay. So emotions are driven by dollars and addiction. So once you get rid of emotions, get rid of that, you're going to get rid of the dollars, you're going to get rid of addiction. Now that is easier said than done, but that's part of, our teachings. Okay. The other thing I had to do was throw out all your indicators, get it out of your head that you need them. Okay. They lag, they show false movements. And you're essentially depending on a mathematical computation, is that a word? I don't know, versus your eyes and your actual view of the market and how the market's moving. Okay. You then need to start learning a bit about volume and understanding illiquid markets and liquid markets. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because that's literally what we teach. And that's just stuff you're not going to understand unless you're already trading. But it's basically market structure, how price moves. Okay. It's the language of the market. It's understanding what the big institutions are doing, instead of what the little guys are doing. It's understanding that this market is, 95% retail and 5% big players, and knowing that the big players are putting 92% of that $6 trillion of daily volume through. So it doesn't make sense to be doing retail trading methods. So we need to start thinking how the big players of the market are doing it, right? The other thing you got to do is start treating this like a business. Okay, it is a business, and to be successful in anything, you really got to love it. You got to make a commitment to learning this. And if if people have, like, after I've had a call, and if they say, oh yeah, I'm just going to give it a go for a month and see what happens, I literally say, don't even fucking start. I don't want you wasting your time or your money or my time. Okay. Did a doctor become a really good surgeon after 1 month? No. This is a skill set, guys, that will literally pay you for the rest of your life. It will pay you more than anything else. So please give it the respect it deserves. Okay. You seriously need to invest in quality education. If you're learning from baby pips and you think you're going to be a really good trader from that, good luck. Okay. I've had so many traders. I'm really aggressive right now. I'm just really passionate about it. I have
Passionate, yeah.
had so many traders, try and learn solo because they just don't want to be a part of it, or, they think they're too good for it. I don't know.
Or you want to save a few dollars and you think that by doing it yourself and researching will, fuck no.
Honestly, if $230 is too expensive for you, you are not ready to make money. That is your money mindset that you need to work on, okay? If $230 is the problem, you've got bigger problems than that, okay? The other thing you've got to do is obviously demo trade until you've consistently profited in there and you know what the hell you're doing, okay? Too many people are in a rush to go live and they take stupid, unnecessary losses. You've got to evaluate your progress, develop good habits, banish the bad ones. You've got to track your progress. If someone says to me, I'm ready to go live, I want to see their trading plan, their trading journal. If they say they've done it, but they haven't shown it to me, you're not coachable. Go ahead, do whatever you want. You're no longer going to get my help. Okay? I literally say this to people. Literally, guys, all you've got to do in this is practice, stick to your plan, stay focused, drop the excuses, stay disciplined, have patience, put in the chart time, ask for help, drop the ego, always be a student. If you can't do those things, which literally apply to everything in your life is going to remain the same, okay? And for your income to grow, you need to grow. And for your earnings to grow, your learnings need to grow, right? That's it.
I think, to your point, it's going into it with perhaps the attitude of, if I can learn and grow my approach to understanding money, then that keeps you in this space of, learning and openness and teachability.
Yeah.
And if you're in that space, you can keep learning. It's not sexy what Sarah just said, by the way.
Oh no.
All it means is you got to keep showing up every single day. And that's why there's lots of people who want to sell you the shortcuts as well and get you on the charts early without that fundamental foundational understanding that's going to help you get there. So if for anybody who's followed Sarah for a while and just been sitting on the fence and observing, right, she has shown up consistently and that's paid dividends. Look, last question. I know we've kept people for 45 minutes or so, but what would you say to someone who's really unsatisfied with where they're currently at in life and are actually sitting on the fence, or maybe being in conversation with you, wondering where's next, if trading could be for them?
Awesome. I like that one. Look, feeling lost is extremely hard and it's really frustrating. It's feeling like you are living life and wandering around aimlessly with no specific motivation or destination, and it's tiring, okay? It sucks a lot of energy out of you because you just want to figure yourself out. You want to figure out what you want to do in life, but you can't do that just yet, okay? Because you're wishing things were different. I don't know, but I strongly think finding out our purpose in life and who we, want to share our time with is such a challenging journey. And we often feel really confused as to where we want to go and who we want to trust. And you got to remember, it's okay. And it's absolutely okay to have no clue, because this is decisions that we're literally taught to go to school. Then when you're 16, 17, you have to make a decision of what to go to uni to then do for the rest of your life. Like, guys, you haven't even had any experience yet. So this is why I did everything I wanted to do, because I then figured out what I wanted to do, right? And that was help people. That was get my own finances together. So in a world that's, really big and complex, it's normal to doubt yourself. Should I do this? Should I say that? Should I stay at this job? Believe me, guys, like, we've all been there. Ryan's been there. And I think the biggest thing is just being aware of where you're at right now and trusting the timing of where you're at. And, I think a lot of people avoid their own reality because they don't want the awareness. So they just go about the motions of life day in and day out without any real intention about their day. They're addicted to social media because they don't want to be present with themselves. They just spend hours and hours scrolling, numbing themselves. They live for the weekend to drink alcohol, to celebrate what? Being broke, having no purpose, just working for someone else for the week. Like, I don't understand that, okay? Next minute, we're 60 and life has gone by. Guys, when I didn't know what career I wanted, I literally wrote out 2 lists. Okay. I wrote out what I didn't want my life to be like and how I didn't want to feel every day. And then I wrote out how I wanted my life to feel and what I wanted to be doing every day. And after I put my thoughts, you know, back into perspective, it really brought me to where to you know, a space of what I truly wanted. Okay, what I wanted, guys, not what my parents wanted, my family, my friends, society, but I figured out what I wanted for me. You know, so me being the decision maker, I wanted to figure out how I wanted to spend the rest of my remaining years on this earth. Okay, and I had no idea I would end up in the trading game. No freaking idea. That was not on my radar. But I knew I wanted to live a life on my own terms. I knew I didn't just want to pay bills and die and just work a job to make money. I wanted to travel. I wanted freedom, guys. I didn't want to be like, my biggest fear is being stuck in the system. Okay, I own this house and it's like, what do I own? I just still have to pay council, all this shit. And it's just like, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I absolutely believe in property and my plan is to invest in more property, but we're getting a bus. We're converting the bus into our home. I'm literally going to be trading from my laptop, out traveling, you know, going on a world freaking expedition. Like, I wanted my income to be uncapped, not what the government told me I was worth. Okay. And I want to give you guys a 2-person scenario. So person 1 is, you know, I can't do it. I work full time. I'm way too busy. Can't afford it. I've got debt, or I've got the kids. Okay. Then person 2 is, I have to do it. I have to get out of debt. I want more time with my family. I want to do it because I'll be able to provide for my family and contribute more. I want out of my job because it's so draining and I never get to see my family. I would love an extra income stream to help out. Okay. These 2 people, exactly the same people, just a completely different perspective. Okay. It's excuses versus execution. And you've got to understand that if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So when people say to me, I don't have time, or I don't have the money, or my partner is the reason why I can't, or my kid's this, or my kid's that, guys, your kids aren't a disease. You know, I've got the kids. It's like, what is that? Okay. I'm not smart enough. These are just all excuses. And when we tell ourselves this enough, we start to believe it and we make it seem legitimate, right? So if you tell yourself this constantly, your life will always be hard because you will be too blind and too closed off to see any other way. So anyone who has ever achieved something really great has probably had a worse card of hands. What is that? A worse hand, worse deck of cards. I don't know. Than you, and they've just
drawn a different card, drawn worse cards.
Literally,
It's not about.
They've been dealt a bad set of cards. Basically.
Yeah, it's not about the hand that you've been dealt. It's about how you play your hand, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And guys, like, if you're thinking about trading or starting a business, whatever it is you want to do, the only way that someone will fail at this is if they quit. Okay, people need to start taking responsibility for their success, start owning their own bullshit, stop living life in this victim mindset of, why does this happen to me? Why? It is your duty to create a life you're obsessed with. Okay, successful people aren't lucky. Like, when people say, oh, you're really lucky to do that, I'm like, what? Nothing about this was luck. This was pure hard work. Okay. I've had people talk absolute shit about me, mocked me, laughed at me. Okay. Success belongs to those who are willing to do and to dare enough to achieve it. And man, I have battled my whole life to become the strong, independent, resilient woman that I am today. And if you're listening to this, you also need to decide that you're worth more than a life of struggle, okay, if you want to create an amazing life. So just don't fall into the trap of being too busy. We're all busy. Don't fall into the trap of, oh, the kids this, the kids that. Let them be the reason you do something great, all right? And in trading and in business, in anything, you've got to learn to love the struggle as much as the top. You know, you've got to learn to love the climb, the ups, the downs, because people want to see you grow, people want to grow, but they don't want to go through the growing pains. Right. And to be honest, if I wasn't trading and if I wasn't in the business of helping people learn this, I actually have no idea what else I would be doing. That's how much I love this. I love seeing people have their breakthroughs. I love seeing miners learn this and then message me after 1.5 years and tell me that they've, replace their 6-figure income from mining with trading. I love helping stay-at-home mums, gain a bit of independence and feel worthy again because they're making some income from home and they can raise their children. All right. I don't share this with just everyone. I do. But what I mean is I share it because there is nothing else out there that can give me what I want. Okay. Freedom. And that is in the sense of financially and spiritually and time-wise. Like, I don't ever go into people's DMs unless I see potential in them to do this, right? I very rarely actually hit people up about this. I built my business purely from referrals or people coming to me. And I do that and I have the conversations because these are the conversations that matter.
That's awesome. And I think, ultimately what you're left with, if you've watched all this way, is a choice. We're making choices every single day. We're making choices to show up at work. We're making choices to live the same life that we've been having. And we get to look around. And if we're unsatisfied with what is happening, if we're unsatisfied or we're unfulfilled, or, if looking at our bank account makes us feel depressed and anxious, we have a choice to choose something different. And I guess the reasons or the excuses that Sarah mentioned before, the kids, lack of time, lack of money, all those things take you out of the game of life.
Yeah.
Always. The things that you have an excuse around in regards to trading are likely the same things that stop you from achieving anything. And so I guess the invitation really that we're throwing out there from Sarah is, can you choose something different for your life? Can you see something else that's possible as well? And despite what's happened in the past, or, maybe you have quit on yourself before with anything that you've done, study, whatever, a job, a relationship, here's something that you can actually learn and develop and grow with someone who actually gives a shit about you. I mean, that's why I'm on this call with Sarah. She asked me and I was like, absolutely, hell yes. She's one of my favorite people on the planet. And someone who genuinely cares about you. The reason why she's so passionate is truly because she'd be doing everyone in her life a disservice if she's not showing up in this capacity, and sharing it with you. So, look, if you want to learn the skills to pay the bills, right? Slide
and beyond, not just the bills.
That's it.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone watching. It means a lot to share this because it is something that is helping.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't have any other questions for you, Sarah. We'll wrap it there because we've kept people for close to an hour, but that's been awesome. So everyone, thank you so much for your time, wherever you've been tuning in from, Texas at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, or wherever you are in the world. Great to share with you tonight, today, this morning, wherever. And I'm sure Sarah will hear from you all soon.
100%. Thank you.
Amazing.